Hey guys, Celtic Caveman here. I want to talk to you just for a couple minutes about being barefoot. In my own journey of kind of after getting out of the Marine Corps and wanting to continue getting out in the woods, getting out in the wild, and getting in touch with that part of myself, but not wanting to take all the gear and to kind of have that military mindset with everything. I very quickly started to get exposed to this concept of how modern footwear is really damaging to our feet, and how being barefoot has so many benefits to your feet. But there's a lot of shoes and sandals that you can wear even when you need to wear shoes that are healthy for your feet, and I'll talk about those in a second. But first of all, I just want to say this. There is a lot of science out there. There's a lot of things that people will talk about with the benefits of being barefoot, and you guys can go check that out for yourself. I don't want to, kind of bore you with all of that. But what I want to say is just my personal experience. I started experimenting with being barefoot out in the woods, out in the wild, and I very quickly realized that it was a great mood booster. I don't know the science behind it. I'm not going to make any claims in that regard, but I will say, for somebody that struggles with anxiety, struggles with depression, being barefoot in a natural environment where your feet can be in contact with sand, with dirt, with grass, with, the woods, with water. It is fantastic for your mood and just recentering yourself, rebalancing yourself, and just mellowing out a little bit and calming down, slowing down. Second thing I've noticed right off the bat is it forces you to be more aware of your surroundings, to actually, kind of think about where you're stepping, where you're walking, and all those kind of things, which I think is a very, very good thing. The next thing I would say I've noticed is what it does is it actually is allowing you to have more of a natural foot motion. When you wear a modern day shoe, you tend to heel strike, which means you hit with the heel of your foot first and you kind of rock forward, which is a very unnatural motion. Our feet are designed to be kind of natural shock absorbers, and to absorb a lot of that energy that you hit the ground with, starting with the ball of your foot with your toes up here, and then to go down from there. And when you go barefoot, it forces you to readjust your gait, to readjust how you walk. And that's why there's actually this huge movement right now in running, to go barefoot running. And there's a lot of really professional runners that are switching to doing that. I just want to talk real quick about the science behind maybe why it's good for you, just physically speaking. Modern day shoes, and I'm going to talk about alternatives to modern day shoes in a second. I have some here with me. But modern day shoes, they have a very narrow toe box, which what it does is it causes your toes to kind of be squished together. Your foot is designed much like your hand for your digits, your toes, your fingers on your hand, but your toes and your foot to splay out, to be spread. Your foot should be the widest at your toes, not anywhere else. And modern day footwear is not designed that way. Second thing is it gives you a heel. Even in men's shoes, which I think is very strange. It might be slight, but you're always going to find shoes where your heel is more elevated than the rest of your foot, which is not natural. You're supposed to have a very flat surface from the same distance between your toe and your heel. That when you have an elevated heel, even just an inch, it causes knee, hip, back problems. And I'm not even talking about high heels. That's a whole nother issue. But really, we as a culture, we just started designing footwear for fashion, and we didn't think anything about what's good for your feet, what's good for your body. And so I think those are things that we all need to be thinking about as we're trying to reconnect and rewild, and just connect with more of the way that things are designed to be. I do realize this. I realize that it's not practical to go barefoot all the time. I think I would encourage you to try it if you haven't, just for the benefits that I've already talked about. Try it in your backyard at first. Just experiment with it. When you first start doing it, it is going to be a little bit painful outside. It's like when I first started playing guitar, my fingers hurt, but then my fingers developed calluses, and it didn't hurt anymore. If you're not used to working with your hands, and you go out and you start chopping some wood, you're going to get some blisters, but eventually your hands toughen up and you get used to that. Same is true with your feet. If you're used to shoving your foot in a sock and a shoe, like a cast like shoe, modern day footwear, your foot's weak, your foot's soft, and it's going to take a little while for your body to adjust, but your body will adjust. I promise you that, and you'll start to see the benefits of it pretty quickly. But if you are in an environment where you got to wear shoes of some kind, I understand. Maybe you're going to a meeting. Maybe you're, culturally, being barefoot is kind of a not accepted thing. But there are great options out there. These are a pair of shoes that I have that I love. These are called the Hana by Zero Shoe, and a couple things about them. First of all, they have a very wide toe box, so it gives you room here in the toe box for your toes to splay out naturally. You can see they're wider here than they are back at the heel. Secondly, there is no different thickness from the heel to the toe. This is called zero rise. The third thing that you want to look for in a good shoe, if you have to wear shoes, is flexibility. You can see with these shoes, I can literally roll them up on themselves. What this does is it doesn't put your foot into a shoe that is weakening your foot, but it's allowing your foot to continue to do what your foot's designed to do. It's like if you break your arm and put your arm in a cast. When you get your arm out of that cast, your arm, your hand, it's going to be weak. It's going to be very weak compared to your other hand. Same is true with your feet. If you're shoving your foot in a modern day boot or shoe all the time, your foot is basically being put into a cast, and you have weak feet. I'm sorry, but you do. We all do. And what the benefits of wearing shoes like these and going barefoot is it's allowing your body to readjust itself to your feet working the way they're supposed to work. Give it a shot. Let me know what you guys think. Give me a comment below if you've experimented with going barefoot, or if you are into barefoot style shoes of any kind. I have a bunch of other pairs of different brands. There's some great ones out there: Zero Shoes, Limbs Shoes, Vival Barefoot. You got some sandal companies, Luna Sandals and Earth Runners, and there's some great companies out there that are actually designing footwear with this specifically in mind. So it's an option now, and we can actually do better for our bodies. But hey, I appreciate you guys being with me, and continue to like, follow, share, and until next time, stay wild.